Hi, I'm Jan Idy. Welcome back to my kitchen, and if you've seen my other videos, then you'll know you are in the kitchen. I'm on the family room side of the center island. Today is our last day for main dishes, and so I'm really pushing to get in 6 dishes today. I'm finding this is quite an undertaking. I have 9 of my dear friends out on the patio, and they're helping my husband and I out by eating the leftovers because I don't have enough room in the refrigerator for all of this food. They're happy, I'm happy. So this segment is for my sweet bell pepper lasagna, and I want to start by explaining how I've made my bolognese sauce, which is the fancy name that the Italians have given what a lot of us just call meat sauce for lasagna. What I do to speed along the process, and when this is done it tastes like it's been on the stove all day, is I make it in a large kettle like this. Now you wouldn't have to use this if you had a large saute pan, just anything that has a large surface. And then after I add my tomato base, and I like to use diced tomatoes, then instead of using chicken broth, which of course would then require a lot of cooking time to get it nice and thick, I add, my favorite is a chicken base. You could also use chicken bouillon. A little comment about the tomatoes. I grew up as a little girl with a tomato patch in the backyard. My folks loved to garden, and I would take the tomatoes right off the plant and eat them like apples. If you've ever had a tomato out of the garden, it is so sweet. There's a reason why tomatoes are called fruit, and I have never had a hydroponic tomato in the grocers or canned tomato that tastes as sweet as the tomato off the vine. And I just can't imagine the Italians meant for us to have such a tart sauce. So I also always add a few tablespoons of sugar to my sauce so it has that off the vine taste. So what I've done with my bell peppers is I've put in enough of the sauce so that after I've added the sauce at the bottom, I then have room to add about a 1/4 cup of my Philadelphia cream cheese mixture. And so I'm going to show you, I'll go ahead and put my meat sauce into this one. It is just a lovely sauce. And now, here's our mixture of ricotta cheese, Philadelphia cream cheese, and then I've also, of course, have my Kraft Parmesan cheese. So that's about a 1/4 cup. And to this, we're going to top it with more of our bolognese. And we're going to pop this into a 350 degree oven. Let me see a little spill there. And to bake. So I'm going to take one extra step around each one of these. I'm going to put a little collar of aluminum foil to make sure they don't tip over, and I've put them in a low shallow base and have them separated from each other so they get a lot of heat around them and cook evenly and quickly. So we'll see you when they come out of the oven. Our sweet little baby bell pepper lasagnas are ready for the next step. Aren't they beautiful? Now what we're going to do is top them with Kraft, and I'm using the mixture of Parmesan, Romano, and Asiago cheeses, and we're also going to be putting on Kraft mozzarella on the top. So I'm adding just probably about a generous teaspoon to the top of each one. Sorry, I think my hand was in the way of the camera there. And then a generous amount of our mozzarella cheese. I'm going to be putting these back in the oven just for a few more minutes, but this time I won't have the aluminum foil on top. And I want to mention a couple of things. I misspoke when I told you the oven was 350. It was actually, we set it to 400 degrees. And also prior to putting the filling in, while the bolognese was cooking, I took this step of steaming the little bell peppers in the microwave for a bit so that they were soft. Otherwise, the cooking time would have been too long. So we're going to pop these back in the oven, and we'll see you when they come out. Our sweet bell pepper lasagna is hot and bubbly out of the oven, and it is beautiful. You certainly don't have to do what I do. As you can see, I chose 2 different colors of sweet bell peppers. You could use the yellow also, just don't use green. And as a suggestion, the squattier ones like these 2 will stand up, or are easier to stand up than the taller thin ones. So as you're picking them out, I would go for the squattier fat ones. And then of course, you can certainly do smaller sizes for smaller appetites. So let's go ahead and serve one of these. And I'm going to cut it in half so that you can see how beautiful it is. I'll turn it around for you on the inside. And let's go ahead and have a taste. I want to get a nice big piece with the with our cheese mixture. It's still hot. Mmm. Mmm. I am a sucker for bell pepper, and this really is a lovely dish. Well, we're gonna hop to it and get these served to our guests, and I'll see you for the next dish. But I'd also like to say thank you again to Paula Dean and our wonderful folks at Kraft, and of course my dear friends, the Real Women of Philadelphia.